Bonnie is the representative from Push Digital, a creative and multimedia production company that has been around since 2010. She joined the company as an intern in 2017 and has since worked her way up. Helping the company grow and evolve, Bonnie's new focus is now currently on leveraging AI tools to implement and improve workflow and product quality. Welcome, Bonnie.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, a pleasure having you. Tell me, what strategies do you think are most effective for organizations to adapt to rapidly changing technologies and stay ahead of the race in the industry?
Well, it's kind of a crazy time in the creative space, the advertising space, and basically any job that can utilize AI because it's changing extremely rapidly. Um, and I think the challenge that my team has, that we're kind of facing right now, is getting the work done that we need to get done, that we've already sold and we're working on, while also trying to simultaneously like keep up with all of these really awesome and helpful tools that are dropping every single day. Like just this week, Figma, which is the premier design website design tool, just
Wow.
announced a whole suite of new features. And last week, I wouldn't have seen that coming. So it's just,
Wow.
staying in touch with what's happening in the industry, but also, continuing to do what works well.
Yeah, so I was running a bit of a project on Figma myself, and I think the last time I touched it was on Friday last week, so I might be up for a surprise as well.
Yeah, they're adding a bunch of new stuff, including like a site builder where you can just design a website and it'll turn it into responsive code, which is pretty crazy. That's like not something that has been, possible before without without development knowledge. Um,
Mhm.
but yeah, it's pretty exciting. My team's really pumped about it, and we're just attending seminars and testing things out as it comes.
Absolutely. Now, tell me, Bonnie, with your role, what is it that you're focusing most of your energy on right now, other than maybe artificial intelligence testing and development?
Yeah, I think my team is always I'm pushing them to kind of create new innovative ideas. I think that's like the cool part of our industry. Like it's not necessarily like ascending in an org chart. It's like making the best creative possible, whether it's a video that kind of has a new approach with new like transitions and kind of aesthetics, or like thinking outside the box when creating a logo and brand kit, or inventing like some sort of responsive chart on a website. Like we're just always pushing ourselves to make our creative better and like be more innovative with the products we make, while still also just like achieving the win for our client.
So, what's happening maybe in the market that's making things? I know we've got AI that's making it a little bit easier, but what's making it a little bit
Mm-hmm.
harder for you now?
I think AI is like, I mean, it's the hot topic of the season. It's a blessing and it's a bit of a curse. Like while these tools, are making things easier and automizing a lot of stuff, it also is like anyone can be a designer, anyone can be a developer, anyone can be a videographer, and that's a new thing. Like you've had to in the past like learn Photoshop or learn um, Final Cut or learn HTML to like get these things done, and you just have to be able to talk to a robot now, which is kind of crazy. So it's interesting, sort of like adapting it as a tool, and it's a blessing and a curse, I think. But I'm trying to be very like this is exciting about it, and I think my whole team is as well because you really got to be on board the ship so you don't get left behind, I think, in this rapidly changing environment. I think that would be my answer.
Yeah, there's so many moving parts, and I think at a certain point, with all the flexibility that we're getting, there will be opportunity to customize a lot of this for the workflows that you currently have, and I think that's
Hmm.
when it's going to start really helping businesses.
Yeah.
I want to just zoom in a little bit. Bonnie, how are you working with your teams to grow the business today?
Yeah, I think the best part of my job, what I really love is kind of fostering team growth and development. Um, I've been, managing the production team since for the last 5 years, actually. So I've gotten
Yeah.
to grow it in a lot of ways, not just like personnel, but like services we offer. And I feel like I've gotten the opportunity to curate a really awesome team by making, you know, choice hires or that are that have the right personality and aptitude to kind of excel and do anything. Like I could call my designer up after this call and I could just be like, I need you to make a billboard and it needs to look like this, or I can call them with any curveball and we'll get to a yes. And I think that that flexible agile mindset is not something that everyone has,
Yeah.
but it's something that like I really pride my team in having, and I think that's how they approach challenges and projects, and I think it's super important in this day and age, and just in the creative space in general, to have that mindset.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that comes from a culture that promotes growth, that promotes,
Mm-hmm.
flexibility in the business. If you have staff members who are willing to take the risk and they know they won't get told off for taking that risk, they're a lot likely to just, go for things and try new things and push boundaries. So that's awesome. Bonnie, what are some of the 6 to 12 month goals now?
Yeah, well, my it's interesting. Push Digital Group is an interesting company because we have a couple different client verticals. The production team services all of our client verticals, but I like to describe it as like the different client verticals are like the order takers at a restaurant. They're different restaurants, like, and the production team is just like the line cooks, and we service all three of the restaurants. Um,
Okay.
but right now, it is one of our verticals is political.
Yeah.
And so it's an off year for the election cycle. So we're actually doing a lot of work in the public affairs space. So these are like bigger projects that are more time intensive and require different types of approaches and skills, and everyone is so different. Versus like political, where there's really like a recipe for success in the kind of messaging you put out there, because people want to know why they should vote for you, when they should vote for you, and
Mm.
how they can get involved, whether that's through donation or other things. So I think in the off years, it's very unique in that we get a chance to really do work with some bigger corporate clients, some governmental agencies, and a lot of other in between things. Um, so while also kind of onboarding people for the next cycle. So we're making senatorial, congressional website or candidate websites right now, while also like doing big projects with interesting clients. And so I guess for the next like 6 months, it's just like really deep diving into that public affairs work that we've been up to, and getting ready for 2026, because that's going to be a big. I mean, the political climate is very interesting right now, and it's rapidly evolving with all of the tools that are rapidly evolving, just like any other industry. And I think 2026 is going to be a very interesting year in the creative
Yeah.
digital advertising space for politics.
So this, you're in a very interesting space. Like we could just go off on a tangent and talk about how
Yeah.
how you manage manage sensitive data, how you manage and talk with the privacy issues and all of that. But
Hmm.
how do what I'm most curious about, how do they find you? How do your in your niche? How do prospective clients find you?
Yeah. Well, we have the production team and myself, we're, like I said, more back of house, and we have a team of um, vice presidents who bring in business. It's sort of like a sales team, but they're also, a lot of them are former general consultants in the political space. So they've worked kind of in the trenches on the campaign side of things, and then now are on the strategy side of the wall. So they will sell, bring in clients, but they'll also be like the senior advisors on all of our projects to make sure, you know, we understand the client's goals well because they're the ones who brought in that client with that relationship. So yeah, it's all sort of relationship based. Although we also do have a great website where you can contact us that way too. So sometimes people find us through our websites or social channels, but usually it's just word of mouth referrals.
Awesome. And yeah, I would imagine that the word of mouth and referrals would have been a big way you've scaled over the years. And how effective has the website and other means of outreach been for you guys?
Um, I think it's important to have an online presence. And, you know, we do get contacts through our website, but I think what we found actually the most useful on our website is to have like industry leading advice. So we have a really awesome blog, but we also have, you know, podcasts, and we have a guy who works with us who's on a lot of
Oh, cool.
like late night political opinion hit kind of news platforms. So I think it's just like not only like making wins for our clients, but giving advice and being like industry thought leaders is something that we kind of try to bridge the gap with our website. And yeah, I think we've gotten really good feedback about it. I really think it looks great and functions well and attracts people the right way, but it's a little bit of a different approach.
Awesome. So obviously your website works. What matters more than anything else to you right now with regards to finding the right people and attracting the right people, as you mentioned?
Yeah, I think one thing that we try to do is work with clients who like love and respect us.
Okay.
You know, there's nothing.
Hmm.
We've all worked with a variety of clients through the years. Some are fantastic, and others, you know, are more set in their ways, and they have a, you know, it's hard with something like design, which is a very subjective field. So, like, you know, a client could have an idea for a logo in their mind, and we could make 10 beautiful logo options, and they could hate them all because they have an idea in their mind.
Yeah.
So it's like clients who can cast their vision so that we can, you know, knock it out of the park for them. But also who just like trust us, trust our expertise, trust that we have their best interests at heart. Like those are the relationships where we can really do great work and push the envelope and like get really awesome wins. Whereas like, you know, clients who try to control everything, it's like it's not, you know, how wins happen, unfortunately sometimes. But yeah, we've been over the last couple of years, it's been a focus of our sales team and our senior team to just get and maintain client relationships that you know, where they trust and support us, so we can do that great work.
That's very interesting. And being selective is not a luxury all companies and organizations can afford. And I'm glad that you
Yeah.
can. How do you identify the right people?
Oh gosh, that might be a question for the sales team. I just know like in a working relationship which one I prefer. um, but yeah, I think it, you know, it comes back to that relationship based sales model that we have, where like the people who sell know the people who they're selling to and can, you know, get that read right out the gate how best they communicate and all
Yeah.
that.
So tell me, what's something you've tried, Bonnie, and may or may not have worked in terms of being able to build the business and relationships through the right people, through the right clients and partners?
Yeah, I think it is like, a company is only, I'll bring it back to, because I'm not again on the sales side of things, but like
Hmm.
about building our team up to be who it is, like, or to be as high functioning as we are right now. It An organization is only as good as the people who work at it, and it's only people. We have tools,
Yeah.
but we only have the people who work here. Um, and we have kind of, I think, across the board, not just with my team, really tried to hire people who are awesome and have that flexible, adaptable spirit, but also like put our clients first. And really like, I think that it's an attitude across the entire company. We also like have fun when we work. It's, there can be a little play in work, and you can be creative. And yeah, I think that's just sort of how we've been able to grow, and why I've stayed at Push as long as I have, is because we have that, like the fun spirit in our work. Even though we're remote, it's the people that matter.
Awesome. And I think a lot of your work is about being able to connect with the audiences. Um,
Mm-hmm.
how do you how are you able to connect with them at the deepest level so you can create the best campaigns possible?
Yeah, I think it's like, from the jump, like we identify who our audiences are, like who are we trying to reach with the content we make. Because the internet is a very busy place. And like people get overwhelmed, but it's like it's information overload. Just scrolling through TikTok or whatever. So we try to identify our audiences from the jump and target them with the content we make. But I think something else that we do well is we ride the wave. Like if there is like it's so busy in the internet sphere, social media, um, trying to make your voice heard with all this other stuff going on is hard. But if there's like a trend or a, like, whether that's a topic or whatever it may be, a meme format, like if there's a wave, we will jump on that wave and ride it too, because that's, use the momentum of just like the internet space to make sure that our clients voices get heard. And we've actually had a couple pieces of content go viral because of that, which is pretty cool.
Awesome. So, look, the three biggest components of business growth are people, process, management. And I think
Mm-hmm.
over the past 5 years, you've gotten into the management aspect of things,
Mm-hmm.
which is awesome. And now you've talked a lot about people as well. And finally, you're building out a lot of AI processes and how to optimize and grow the business more
Yeah.
efficiently. So you're pulling on all three levers and you're really driving that business growth. So tell me, what is some of your biggest challenges in that in leveraging them?
Yeah, I mean, I do wear a lot of hats, which, sometimes things hit at once, and it can be tough to juggle all three things, but because like the work never stops, but the AI tools never stop developing, and my team never stops needing my support. And so just like juggling all three of those things can sometimes be challenging, but I have ADHD, and I like to just be doing chaos like at all times. Like I'm just like jumping from thing to thing to thing, like remembering what I was working on yesterday at 4 p.m. and just kind of like I somehow keep it all afloat. But I think it is like my like the way my brain works is like a superpower, in that I can just like juggle so many things at once, and it kind of works for
Yeah.
me. But it's not for everyone. Like I know some people get very overwhelmed, like by would be very overwhelmed by like what my job kind of entails, because it's so different. But I love that every day is different, and I love that I've like just had so many challenges, like year after year they're different. Like the AI is the new one, but like, you know technology is just always changing and evolving, and it's changing our industry space, not just my company, but like everywhere. And it has since I started in 2017 as a video editor. Like it's changed so much. Like just the software that my videographers use every day has changed so much. I just think it's cool. It's a cool time. It's a cool space to be in. And yeah, I I thrive in the chaos a little bit.
Yeah, business is a load of fun in 2025. Now, uh,
Mm-hmm.
sort of coming to the end, Bonnie, what if you had a magic wand and you could give it a
Mm-hmm.
big whoosh, big Disney whoosh, and let the genie out? What would that one thing be that you'd try to solve in the business, especially with
Mm-hmm.
regards to um, finding alignment in the business, more organization, because that's I think what we're trying to do, more efficiency, organization with AI. And what was the one thing that you want to try and solve?
Yeah, that's a tough question. I don't know. I think I I honestly not sure. Just mastering like all of there's so much information and so much out there. Like I bet having a better grasp on it and being able to use those
Yeah.
tools like in my best advantage, I think is going to be very exciting. I'm really excited about some of the Asana. Like we use Asana for our work management
Hmm.
platform. They've had some AI advancements, but not like quite to the level I want. I think maybe if I could, this is
Yeah.
such a nerdy project manager answer. If I could wave a magic wand, it would be to like integrate AI into our Asana database and use like our specific work, like our bank of previous work to like be able to help concept new ideas and generate tickets and have the whole thing like seamlessly speed up our workflow versus like, having to do a lot of manual stuff in the back end. I think I think that's like the area I would wave my magic wand for.
That's perfect. That's exactly what I was looking for because I think um, that's just what coming back to how we started the conversation. AI is making life easier and it's making life harder, and so
Yeah.
finding ways to just make that integration seamless is exactly what we need. Thank you
Yeah.
so much, Fanny. This has been
Thank you.
so lovely. Thank you for sharing your insights.
Appreciate it.